Hello, I'm Maggie Hammond. I teach on the Complete Creative Writing course, and I've worked as a novelist, a publisher, a journalist, and I'm the author of Creative Writing for Dummies. I'm here to answer some common questions about writing. I think the great difficulty nowadays in writing a horror story is that the ante has been upped so much in films now that it's really difficult to think of anything that's scary or horrible enough. And that presents quite a challenge, because if you don't provide something that's really scary or horrific, your horror story will fall down, not just like a damp squib, but it can actually be really funny and comic, and that's not what you want. So you've got to think of something really frightening. Another important thing is to set up right from the beginning of your story that something horrible is going to happen. There's no point in lulling your reader into a false sense of security with your characters on some romantic honeymoon or going about their ordinary daily business before something horrible happens. You've got to set up straight away that something really sinister is lurking. It might be waking up from a bad dream that they have. It might be reading a bad horoscope. It might be walking out of the front door and seeing something rather nasty. It's also important that you hint a lot. If you give people absolutely full-on horror, it isn't really horror at all, it's just a gore fest. And that's not something that you probably want to do. So sometimes the most horrific things are things that aren't quite seen, that are just glimpsed out of the corner of an eye, that you think might be something really horrible, but then maybe it isn't, or then maybe it is. And it's important, therefore, that you think carefully about how you can disguise the horror until you really get to the climax of your story. You want to hint at things, but you don't want to show them full on until you get to the end. It's also important to think about having a mixture between suspense and surprise. If there's too much suspense, your reader will just get fed up and start skimming through the pages as quickly as they can. At the same time, you don't want it to be so dull that they skip to the end because they just want to finish the story. So it's important to build up a feeling all the time that there's something just around the corner that's really not at all nice, and that your character becomes more and more in fear of. So remember to hint, to create suspense. Description is really helpful in a horror story if you put it in the right place, between the hint that there's something horrible and actually revealing it. And that's how to write a horror story.